Texas Tech officially lands the big one, literally. This time in defensive tackle from UCF, Lee Hunter. In today's video, we discuss this monumental commitment for the Red Raider defensive line, what it means for Texas Tech going into 2025 in the defense overall, and much, much more. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. And if you're excited that Texas Tech has landed arguably the best defensive tackle in this portal cycle, not me hyping him up, go look. This is a debate here. He could be the best defensive tackle in this portal class. If you're excited about that, simply like the video and hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's jump into this. Maybe lay the land real quick, okay? Lee Hunter, you may know him from his time at UCF, started his college career at Auburn. Last year at UCF, with Gus Malzahn as the head coach there for the Knights, bona fide star on the Knights defense. Listen, the Knights weren't good at a lot of things last year, missing a bowl game, and Gus Malzahn moving on to be the offensive coordinator at Florida State. Lee Hunter, he was a bright spot. And when I say a bright spot, I mean a big bright spot. Literally, 6'4", 320. He had 45 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, and 1 sack in 2024. Second team All Big 12. He is a legit, and I mean legit game changer. And it's hard not to get excited from the standpoint of, he's starting, right? Like Lee Hunter is starting. But now you have a guy like Skylar Gill-Howard next to him, right? You have other edge rushers that you feel good about, right? Like some of them are coming off injuries, whether that's a Dylan Spencer, whether that's Amir Washington. You got Joseph Adedire, Harvey Dyson, right? Their lives are going to be so much easier now because you have a behemoth in the middle of your defensive line that not only makes them look better, but they're going to make Jacob Rodriguez look better, right? He's going to make the secondary look better. Texas Tech hasn't had a defensive tackle like this in a very, very long time. Again, 6'4", 320, and 320 is probably on the generous side of the weight, if you know what I'm saying. He's probably closer to 340, okay? He is a guy that I think a lot of people thought was a pipe dream for the Red Raiders in terms of when he entered the portal, everyone and their mother that paid attention to college football knew that Lee Hunter would be one of the most hot commodities in the portal because defensive linemen like him do not grow on trees. They just simply don't. And when Texas Tech's name was rumored involved in it, you were like, oh, okay, cool. Then it picked up steam. Then you saw that he was confirmed to be on campus, and that from the Go Noles 247 sports account out there in their site. Great job by them reporting that he would be on campus on Tuesday, December 17th. And now you have a commitment from arguably, again, the best defensive tackle in this portal class. This is a game changer on a defensive side of the football that Shield Wood has already got quite a bit of talent, right? We already talked about Skylar Gill-Howard, right? Like we talked about him. I'm super excited about SGH. Like he is a guy that I think has all Big 12 type potential, at worst an honorable mention. And now you pair him with a Lee Hunter. I mean, that's one of the most dynamic duos Texas Tech has had on the defensive line in the last 20 years. And yes, no shade to Jalen Hutchings and Tony Bradford. They're sensational. These guys are above them in terms of talent, in my opinion. And Lee Hunter is the main reason why. Again, 6'4", 325. This is a game-changing type addition for the Red Raider defense. And I mentioned it a little bit. It obviously helps the defensive line. But now you look at some of the additions that you have on the defensive side of the football, right? In terms of Bryce Pollock right there at the cornerback spot, arguably the best corner in this portal cycle, at worst a top 5 corner in this portal cycle. You go out and you get a guy like Dante Balfour, who literally set a program record for pass broken up there at Charlotte over 2 years and then was a 4-star recruit prior to that at UNC. You go out and get an Amir Boyd Matthews, a guy that has length 6'2", 185 in the secondary. Oh, and then not to mention you get the tallest guy of them all in Cole Wisniewski from North Dakota State, who had the most interceptions in a season for the Bisons of North Dakota State. Oh, and the most interceptions in the Missouri Valley Conference by one player in that conference's history, right? You go out and you look at the totality of everything and you add Lee Hunter to it, right? And there could be other names that are added to this. But you add a guy like him for what you know from the portal, and this is an absolutely game-changing and expectation-changing type addition for Texas Tech. I could make the argument, you could go either way, and I don't care which way you go, that Lee Hunter is the biggest portal addition for Texas Tech this cycle. It's either him or Hunter Zambrano. I mean, both of these guys are pros. Both of these guys have the chance to be all Big 12 type talents. I mean, damn, Lee Hunter's already been one. He made the all Big 12 second team last year. Again, 45 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. He is an absolute problem and nightmare for opposing defense or offensive coordinators to have to attribute to where he is. You think there's any quarterback in the Big 12 that wants to see that man running right down the A gap at him? Hell no. There's nobody in the country that would. And now you actually have, outside of that, multiple other pieces that are going to benefit from having a guy like that right in the middle of this 3-4 base defense for Shield Wood. It's a game-changing type commitment for the Red Raiders, and one that had been, rumored for a while. And again, shout out to Go Noles, the 247 sports site for them. They were the first one to have the report that he was going to visit Texas Tech. And then you went out and you had Pete Nakos of On3. He had the crystal ball prediction saying that Hunter would commit to Texas Tech. Right? And this is something that I don't think a lot of people around the country saw. Did NIL play a factor in it? Yeah, duh. No one's going to tell you otherwise. We don't speak broke at Texas Tech, right? Shout out to Cody Campbell on this one. This one's for you, OG. We appreciate you, homie. But yeah, that's part of the factor. But also, look at what Texas Tech is doing. You think about it from the totality of Texas Tech and where they are, right? Yes, they're 8-4, and a lot of fans are frustrated. I get it. And why are they frustrated? Because it felt like a play here or there, and Texas Tech is playing in Arlington for a chance to play in the college football playoff in what would inevitably have been a first-round bye. I mean, look at what Arizona State did, right? They're a couple of pieces away from that, they feel. And what do? Credit to them, they go out and they address multiple needs at a high level. Not these guys that could come in and, be solid contributors. They landed some of those guys, but they went out and added some damn rock stars. And Lee Hunter is at or near the top of the list, okay? This is a bona fide game-changing commitment for the Red Raiders on the defensive side of the football, and one that I think every Texas Tech fan should be excited about. I mean, this is truly game-changing. 6'4", 325, 45 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, second team All Big 12 in 2024. I mean, again, this is a guy that every offensive coordinator in the country is going to have to account for each and every snap he is on the field. And when they do, that opens things up for everyone else. The Texas Tech pass rush just got significantly better with this. And it's one of those deals where you got guys like Joseph Adedire, Harvey Dyson, Amir Washington, multiple other guys there, including Dylan Spencer, right? Like some of those guys are coming off injury. Now you're going to want them to come back and be as close to 100% healthy as possible, but they don't have the expectations and the pressure of, oh my gosh, they're hyper aggressive on me because they know I'm trying to get after the passer. No, everyone and their mother is going to have to attribute for Lee Hunter on the opposing side of the football. Texas Tech just got a true game wrecker and game changer. Shout out to Coach Finch on that one. Unbelievable type addition for the Red Raiders. Again, if you're excited about this and really what Texas Tech is doing in the portal in general, all I'm going to ask you to do to join the Back to 12 squad and get 100% free content year-round for your Red Raiders is 3 things. Like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans and the most interactive group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube right here on the Back to 12 podcast channel.